Hey everyone, welcome back. So this is where we left off in our last video, and this time round we need to get our cabinets all assembled, make some doors for them, and get everything up onto the wall. So it's been raining on and off, so we haven't really done any more painting. So what we've been doing instead is figuring out what we're going to do with the doors on the cabinets. And we thought we'd do them basically the same kind of style as the wardrobe, which worked really well with the cane stuff, the rattan in the middle. But obviously a little bit more chunkier, because that was a bit awkward to work with being so small. So we think we're going to do it out of some 2x1s going around the edge, like that. Maybe just thin these down a little bit so they're not quite so chunky like that. And then we were going to join them like that, just a butt joint, but actually we're thinking it might be a bit nicer if they were a mitre joint. They'd look a bit nicer. And we're looking at how strong this kind of join would be, so just going to glue it up, because we didn't really want to pin it or anything on the corner. But because this is going to be a door, this is upside down, but you'll be pulling it open like that with a lot of force on one of these pieces, and we don't really want it to separate over time, because that would be really annoying. So watched a few videos on YouTube about how to make a mitre joint a little bit stronger, and what we decided to do was make a little jig so we can add some splines. So we've made that, and then we can just run this through the table saw, putting the piece on like that, and just run that through, and then on the other side of it as well, on the back, and that will cut a nice groove in the bottom. Then we can put it together like that and just put a spline in the middle. So it'd be something like that, and then we're thinking that as you're pulling on this piece all the time, that'll be glued in. That should hopefully lock it in place and it won't move around, which should be good. And the other thing is, is a nice little piece of artwork as well.
I don't really know how you've managed that. It made it look like a
mountain scene.
Mountains with the sun. Can hang it up afterwards.
Keep that for the end, yeah. We've made a little checklist of all the pieces we need, because it's getting a bit confusing, because what we're trying to do is have the pattern continuing all the way around the frame, so that when we put them around, they should actually make a nice waterfall type pattern.
Yeah.
Well, that's the idea anyway.
So then there's that one, and that, and then the next one is one of these. Same size, one of these. Yeah?
Okay.
Looks good.
Nice. Yeah, that should work pretty good. Once it's glued together. Right, so we finally managed to get it all painted, despite the weather.
Yeah, eventually.
So, yeah. So we're actually ready to assemble it now.
Yeah, I think so.
It's come out, it's a pretty good finish actually.
It's not bad, is it?
Nice and smooth. And we remember to mask off the bits that we're going to be gluing when we're spray painting. So yeah, hopefully it should go together pretty good.
Let's see.
another project where we basically use every clamp we've got. Right, so we have made one of the door frames, well, the frame part of it anyway, obviously we've still got to do the cane, and yeah, it took longer than we thought because it's the first time we've ever had to glue up a mitre joint, and we didn't really appreciate that. It's actually quite tricky.
Yeah.
So
hard to clamp together.
Yeah, so we spent ages last night trying to glue it, and it was just sliding around and stuff, and it works, but yeah, it was fiddly, put it that way. So then what we've done today is we have made these, which are little, I don't know what you call that, little clamping accessory, and that actually works really good for allowing us to clamp the mitre. We put a line halfway across the mitered bit going perpendicular, so that's those two lines. Then our little spline goes in there, and we've made these out of oak, so they're just, you know, really nice and strong even though they're so thin. They're quite flexible this way, but they're really strong this way, so we've done it with the grain going perpendicular, so that goes in there like that, and then just slide that together, just closes the gap. And then what we do with these little guys is we put a similar line on here going perpendicular on the angle, and we just put that lined up with that one, and that one lined up with that one, then clamp the end on here and clamp across here, and that then applies a really nice even pressure and closes up the gap, which works surprisingly well actually. It's like magic. It's really cool.
Right, 2 more to do then.
Yeah, we did make quite a few of these, but we realised you need 3 clamps for each one, so we're actually limited by how many clamps we have.
Yeah, we might be here for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got all our door frames ready now and they're nice and stained and dry. So we're going to put our cane on the fronts of them now. I'm going to staple that on just like we did for our wardrobe doors on the front there. And yeah, we've just about got enough to cover all 3.
We have to make sure we don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, got to be careful when we cut this
Oh, it's tight.
But yeah, so we've got to soak this first to make it a lot more flexible. And then when you staple it on, it shrinks as it dries, so it makes it nice and tight. So do that first.
So while Abby's been carrying on doing the stapling, she's been making some more strips to go around the edges.
Nice. Well done.
Are you enjoying this job a lot more than the other bits?
Yeah, it's much more my kind of thing. Right.
How's it looking?
Not bad. Yeah. It's a bit floppy at the moment, but hopefully when that dries it should tighten up a bit.
Nice. Cool. Pretty good fit actually. Right, it's got to be lunchtime now I think. I'm starving.
very happy with that.
So they're tightened up quite a lot now.
Yeah, nice and bouncy. And we've just put a beveled edge on it as well, just to give it a slightly more professional look. Right, are we nearly there then?
We are nearly there. So we were going to put the doors on the cabinet and get those on with the hinges, but these are the hinges we got for that, which just some basic ones we found in Wix. But then when we realised putting them on this door, they're actually a little bit too big. So we didn't really want to do that, so we ordered some different hinges on Amazon, and these are more like standard cabinet hinges, but they're the smaller version, the 26 mils. And these ones are pretty nice because they'll fit perfectly in that band around there. Ooh. And also they're soft close as well, like the kitchen ones. So it's a little test we did. Nice. And they've got 3 degrees of adjustment, which we figured might be quite useful as well, because those ones you kind of just do it and hope it works. But while we were waiting for those hinges to be delivered, so they've actually only really just arrived, we were building these shelves instead. They're going to go in the kitchen, so that's one of them. And we just made the other one, which is the same, just a little bit smaller. And the way we've done that is fairly simple construction, but it took a little while for us to get heads around it, because we wanted it to be routed in so that it's nice and strong, and any weight that's on it, it will be held in via this groove. So it goes together like this. Got that little funky end piece, and then that goes in there. That one slides in, and then we've got this front rail that goes in that side, and this one at the back, which get in. The back edge we've had to scribe to the wall, obviously, because nothing's ever straight.
Obviously.
So that one goes in, pops in there like that, and just goes together. So yeah, we figured doing it that way means that it should be strong enough to hold everything, and we're going to bolt it into the wall as well. So yeah, nice. Not bad. And I think this one, which we did second, probably took, what do you reckon, about 10 times less time than that one?
Yeah.
Still on our first tin we've ever bought this stuff. It's amazing.
It lasts forever. No wonder it's so expensive.
Little measuring gauge.
Awkward angle.
Is that it?
I think so.
Alright. Release the clamps.
Alright. Ready Is there anything in front of it?
Nope, you're clear.
There we go.
It's taking a little time. We had to add these little blocks, which took a bit of figuring out exactly what size they needed to be so that we had the right, opening. A little bit tired.
Right.
It's looking good though.
Gas struts.
Yep. See if it works. Good start.
Stay up.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's pretty cool, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah. Don't think we've ever had gas struts anything before, have we?
Apart from on the car boot, which
Yeah.
they actually don't work at the moment.
Yeah.
It's taken a little bit of time to do, hasn't it?
Yeah. It always does when you're figuring something out for the first time. But at least Jackson came to visit us.
He did, actually. Enjoy himself. He's picked a spot right by the heater. Right. You happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, out there. Final adjustments of the doors.
Yeah. It's obviously not square everywhere, but I think that's the best that we can get it.
Yeah? They look pretty good?
Yeah.
Gap in the middle and stuff?
Yeah, I think
Looks pretty good from my side.
Yeah.
Cool. So we can finally actually get the cabinets onto the wall, which is quite exciting. And to do that, what we wanted was to not just screw them in, we wanted to be able to bolt the whole thing in so it's a little bit more secure, because obviously we're going to be driving down the road and we didn't want anything to fall off and stuff like that. So conveniently, when we did the battening of the walls, we bolted everything in, all these battens, using riv nuts. So that's in one of our early videos, and what we decided to do for this was to basically reuse those bolt holes. So under this piece of 3mm plywood we've added, there is the battens that are going vertical along here. So it did have these bolts in there just holding that batten in, and we can replace them with a longer bolt that just goes straight through. And then this rail we've put at the back of the cabinet, we've just added the bolt holes in the same locations. And to line it up, because the one tricky part was obviously the bolt holes on that wooden rail has to line up perfectly with these. So we use the same trick we've done before. We've got these things which are called hanger bolts, and it's like a threaded part on one side and a spiky part on the other. So we just screwed those into there like that, got them nicely recessed, and then we could offer up the wooden beam and press it against it, and then told us where to drill the holes. So in theory now it'll all line up and it should just bolt in, right?
Yeah, I've got to actually lift it up to do that though. That's what I'm worried about.
And we've also done the same over here. So we've just taken down this bit of cladding wall, which was not too bad actually. And then same thing, we found the bolt holes, and that pretty much actually dictated where our shelves would go, because that was the only spots where there was fairly horizontal bolts that we could use. So there's going to be one shelf there and one shelf there. So yeah. Now we just got to get this one up.
Wish us luck.
No, I'm not holding it. Well, holding up by itself. It's quite nice seeing it up there, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Now we got this ratcheting tool, which I think was it a Lidl special?
Yeah.
Which actually works really well. It's like perfect size to have in the van. Okay, I think that's it. How's it look?
It looks good. There is just a little gap at the top there, but hopefully we can sort that out. It looks nice.
Try it out. Okay.
So the handle doesn't hit the ceiling at the moment.
Which is always a bonus. Yeah. What we've noticed is that it's kind of fine on the right hand side and on the left hand side, but it's sagging a little bit in the middle. It is kind of seesawing a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we think we're just going to add the 4th bolt in, I think it's around there, which should hopefully pull it all up and hold it in a little bit tighter on the ceiling. In retrospect, maybe what we should have done is bolt the back rail in first and then do the dividers after that and then scribe them, because then we would know that it's literally in the right place. So
I really envy people with vans with straight roofs.
yeah. It's looking quite a bit better, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a much less gap up there now, which is good. Yeah, it's probably about 0.5 centimetre, which is probably fine.
That's good, because we don't want to touch the ceiling, because we don't want to squeak when we're going down the road.
Yeah.
We've also added a couple of little extra support blocks in here, so one there and then screwed in from the side through that one. We didn't want to put another block here because it'll obstruct stuff that can go on the shelf. And then same on this side, going into there, and then here we've just got a block going into another block on the other side, so that's kind of sandwiching them together and then again screwed in from the back. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm a bit happier now.
And we weighed the whole thing before we put it up as well, and it was it 11.9 kilograms for the whole thing with all the doors and the hinges and all the hardware and stuff. So yeah, it's actually pretty good. We try to build it as light as we can, so it's using obviously cane, so the doors hardly do anything. They're about 600 grams for a door,
something like that. So what we've also done is just pre-drilled some holes here and also at the bottom there, all the way along pretty much, so that we can just add some extra screws for more strength. So is that one at the back?
Yep, so hopefully you've got enough space still to get the drill in there.
Let's see, I might have to use the right angle thingy.
Half the difficulty with this one has just been all the tight spaces again, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's always the way, isn't it?
You can't use any tools in the normal way, you've got to get all these fancy attachments.
I have to hand do the last bit.
Just enough space to get it in. How do I do this?
And travel.
It's not the easiest thing to do. Whew. Alright. Yeah, that feels pretty sturdily attached to the wall now, which I'm quite happy about. Glad we've bolted it in. Even without the screws, it's pretty strong, but with the screws in as well, it's pretty solid.
It's not going anywhere, is it?
Nice. So we made these as separate pieces so that we could then screw that in and then put this down over the top. And we've also made a little channel through here so that if we ever wanted to in future, we could put some wires through, because we were thinking at one point maybe we'd have some lights under here or something. We decided not to do that in the end. But just in case we change our mind, the only problem I think we've realised we've got is now that we've added those blocks, we're not going to be able to get this one in without a bit of work, maybe taking off the magnet.
Okay, Okay, so that is everything done now. So we've managed to put in the white inserts back in after a little bit of playing around with it and cutting a few bits off of it, and yeah, we've just put some bits and pieces in just to sort of show what it would look like. And we've just got that little alcove there using the space from the shower wall, which is quite handy. So that's good. And we've got these ones over here for our clothes. And in this one we've got, you know, these drawer dividers that you can get for your clothes for in the house. And we made it so that this fits just under that beam at the back, which is quite satisfying, keeps it nice and snug and in there. So that's pretty cool. And then yeah, we've got our little bookshelf here. Obviously probably won't take this many travel books, but you know, you never know. And then over here we've got our shelves for in the kitchen, and we've just put just a few things on there just to demonstrate. Don't really know what we're going to have up there yet, but obviously it fits things like this, which is quite cool. And we'll probably have to find a way of, you know, maybe attaching them to the shelf so that they don't rattle around when we're driving, but I think it looks really good.
Yeah, it's good. Hopefully we'll have a decent shelf life up there.
Oh god.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Well, that took a little bit longer than we were expecting, but it's all done, and I think we're going to take another break for woodwork for a little while, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. We might move on to doing the grey water tank underneath the van.
Yeah, I think that probably be the next project.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.